Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Blinded by the light, revved up like a boot, I never know the words to songs, but somehow when teaching music to wee ones, that works out in my favor. With the exception of major lyric choices, I've never been one to remember lyrics to songs. I'm always making it up. It used to drive my students bonkers. And when I say bonkers, they secretly loved it. Mary never had a little lamb. Mary had a horseshoe crab. Mary had a wombat. Mary had a little hippogriff. And while I was silly and right up my alley, I also had a secret purpose. By changing up the words, by showing them various possibilities, the students learned a secret musical lesson. Through this small act of subversion, they learned tonal and rhythm concepts. They learned that no matter what animal I chose, the tonal pattern was always the same. Little lamb, little hippogriff. However, they also learned that depending on what animal I chose, the rhythm pattern did change. Horseshoe crab, wombat. In this lesson, they learned that the rhythm is gonna getcha. This lesson stuck with me as I began working with younger and younger students. The words of a song, they are important and help us relate to our audience, but they do a different thing than the actual music. The movement of the melody, the pulse of the rhythm, these are very different than the words of a song. And even if they have composed to directly connect, in order for us to really cling to the music and not the text, we have to remove the text. Sometimes we have to sing songs without words. Fortunately for me, at the very time I was starting to realize this, I ran into a very important lady. Cynthia Crumb-Taggart was one of my major professors at Michigan State University. It was through her that I learned of music learning theory, as created by Edwin Gordon. Music learning theory has lots of applications in various music education scenarios, but the one I want to focus on right now is the connection to singing for very young children. You see, for very young children aged birth to 5, they're still in the very beginning stages of language acquisition. Vocabulary is such a struggle. So much so, it will often take 3 to 5 years before we really hear children talking in full sentences. During this time, they learn to process the very nature of language. While being immersed in their native language, it takes close to a year before they form words that resemble our own, and even longer before they speak them with syntax. Music learning works in a very similar way. We hear and process for a long time before we move to a place where music makes sense and we are ready to participate. However, when it comes to young children, because they're also learning language acquisition skills at the same time that we, the music teacher and/or parent, are teaching music skills, the two can do their best work if they're separated out from one another. If we only sing songs with words, young children aren't in a place where they can filter the two skills out from one another. If we only sing songs with words, they'll focus on the text of the song rather than the musical motives inside the piece. If we only sing songs with words, young children learn language skills rather than music skills. Is there anything wrong with learning language skills? Nope. But it's something to be very mindful when we consider the context of the lesson. Is this moment about teaching music or about teaching language? For me, it's always been about teaching music first and the other part second. So in a sense, it's both. So yes, hashtag true confession, I sometimes sing songs with words to youngins, but I try to remember that my first duty is to be a music teacher. To teach music first, I need to do everything in my power to make that happen. The other lessons, well, they're just super happy bonus lessons. While it seems that lessons from Gordon really resonated with me, they resonated with me more than they might with others. I've just never been one for the words. Some of the original Giebel tunes that I'm most proud of, like the one you're hearing right now, Jazz in January, are what I call vocalese, a cappella part songs without words. I might have learned the formal MLT ways just a few years ago, but it's been in my heart for much longer. But for now, a haiku. Thinking about how we learn and process music. Try songs without words. Mary had a little lamb, little wombat, little hippogriff. Mary had a little platypus. Its bill was really weird.